What's the stupidest decision you have made while horny? Tried to cut the top off a shampoo bottle, stuff it with wet paper and duck it. The knife slipped. I cut my finger open and had to get 3 stitches. Having a wank in a hotel room while my dad was asleep. I don't know what would be more awkward. The fact I was wanking while staring at my dad so I knew to stop, or if he were to wake up and see that I was sat there eyeballing him while stroking my throbbing stiffy. The joys of being young and dumb. Yeah, the VIP room sounds good. Horny plus alcohol at the strip club. Before I ever had sex before. It was like 2 AM and I decided a jelly sandwich would be the most realistic thing to have sex with. Other than an actual person. Made a jelly sandwich. Put it in the microwave to warm it up. For realism. Ovs. Put it in a Ziploc baggie to keep it neat and went to town on it in the bathroom of my dad's house. Finished. Immediately regretted the whole thing due to post-fap clarity and had to clean up the mess that happened even though I used a baggie. Went to bed and the next morning. Dad asked if I had had a nosebleed overnight because there was what looked like blood all over the bathroom floor. I told him yes. Thought about telling him the actual story on my wedding day just for kicks. Totally had sex with a jelly sandwich, Dad. Sorry. I was on a road trip in a caravan with my family and girlfriend. There were 2 sleeping spots. The front and the back. My parents slept in the bedroom, while I and my girlfriend slept in the bed in the front. It made a lot of noise. Capital A. Lot. There was just no chance they didn't hear anything and the whole camper moved with every hump. The morning after, my dad discreetly, for laughs, said, "OBTW, you can throw condoms in this bin." I was 16. Very awkward. Decided to have sex with my college girlfriend in her dorm room on move-in day. We lived in the same hall and had been moved in since a week prior for marching band training week. We decided to go at it in her bedroom. Rooms were a 2BR suite, and halfway through we hear her new roommate, a stranger, and her parents arrive in the main room. We freeze, wait for them to return to the car for another load of stuff, then have a laugh and get dressed. As I'm leaving, she hears them returning down the hall. Now, this girl was raised very conservative, still highly ashamed of having premarital sex. I was her first, and the thought of anyone even suspecting what we'd been doing appalled her. So, she tells me to hide in the shower with the curtain drawn until they leave. So there I was, standing as quietly as possible behind a shower curtain for several minutes as my girlfriend meets roomie and the parents. They finally excuse themselves to get more stuff, and then roomie said, "Just a sec guys, I'll be right there." This girl, who remember I haven't even seen yet, proceeds to come into the bathroom and take a massive, smelly it, in a toilet that is not even a foot away from me, while I hold my breath in abject terror. I've never been so quiet in my life, or so relieved to finally be out of a situation. We stuck to having sex in my room after that. Edit. Thank you for the silver, kind stranger. I'd never been gilded until 3D ago. This makes 2 gilded comments in the same week. Edit. Thank you for the gold, additional stranger. What a week for my Reddit account. I went to a woman's house, late at night, in rural upstate NY. We had been talking to each other via email at the time, about 1997. Neither of us knew what the other looked like. Not everyone had a scanned picture. I went over at 11 PM on a Friday night. I didn't have a roommate at the time. Went into a completely dark house, located in the woods, and had sex with a woman whom I had known for a couple of weeks with just several phone calls between us. When the morning came, we were both attracted to each other. We ended up dating for almost a year. It worked out, but seriously, it was a stupid thing to do. I let a gay friend duck my ass once. I had sex with my boss's son during a point in time where she was considering me for a promotion. Slept with a bald Asian girl who kinda resembled a Shaolin monk. I ducked a chick in the banquet room at the restaurant I worked at. Nobody caught us, but that was honestly just dumb luck. Rubbing one out with shampoo. Oh the burn. Think the number 1 answer would be, not use a condom. Dating Sherry, the coke dealing biker chick, who looked like a Victoria's Secret underwear model. The best thing that ever happened to me is I was out of town the day the police broke down the door to bust her. Last I heard she was still in prison. We had gone to Sonic and decided we were horny, so we parked in the back of a Chuck E. Cheese parking lot at 11 PM and had oral sex. I rode my red line across a few towns in freezing rain just to touch some titty for 90 minutes. Younger me would troll the casual encounters section of Craigslist thinking I'd somehow find a girl who wanted to bang. Where I live, the section was nothing but other men and porn spam bots. I feel like I communicated with an actual woman one time, but who knows. It got to the point of meeting up and I chickened out. Deleted the email account I'd been using and very rarely browsed. I know they shut down the personal section now. I also know this is Reddit and I'm gonna get some smug reply about how a dude met his wife there and blah blah blah. But I personally feel glad I didn't pull the trigger. Who knows? It could have been an actual woman, but it could have been some creepy dude or someone robbing people. Stuck my D in a hot tub jet. Water shot up my urethra. Tore my meatus. Now my D hole is bigger than it should be. I once had sex with a stripper without using a condom. That was a scary next morning, week, month. Kept going back to a cunt that just did not give a duck about me. I bought a transatlantic plane ticket to get laid for a weekend. Important note, I'm a woman who went to see an ex-boyfriend SMH. So I stayed at my friend's an extra day after a convention, but I had a train around 12 AM. She was in high school, but I was really cool with her parents and they let me stay until I had to go. So once I woke up and she was in school, I went to the bathroom and felt the sudden urge of morning wood. I've noticed a laundry bin. Pulled out her panties and rubbed one out to the smell of it. Accepted to make a girl my GF. Ended up dating for a year. We had nothing in common. She was crazy. Psychotic. I guess the peen was the captain then. Every decision I make or have made while horny is the stupidest decision I've ever made. After telling my friends to not take me back to my car if this ended up happening, I strongly suspected I would get a call from my ex that night to go hang out and that we would definitely bang if I went. I put ex in quotation marks because by then I had realized I was actually her on the side booty call and she was definitely cheating on her boyfriend with me. I turned out to be correct. She called while I was at their apartment and wanted me to come over. I wanted it so bad. I walked like 3 miles to my car to drive over there because my cool buddies honored my request, even though I begged them not to. Had a threesome with my boyfriend, now ex, and a guy we've just met at a party. It was on a wooden floor in a room where other people were sleeping as well. At least I think. Hope they were asleep. I wasn't on birth control at the moment and we used a condom for a short moment but not all the time. The morning after I finally realized how stupid I had been and had to get a morning after pill, which wasn't the nicest thing to take. Sex was a little bit disappointing as well. So that's that. Going out with my ex-wife in the first place and then getting her pregnant. This was back in HS when all the really dumb it happens. Banging a girl on her parents' bed while they were allegedly gone for the day. They surprised us to say the least and I went out the window naked and running for the woods with my clothes in hand. In broad daylight. Haha. It was an absolute miracle no one caught me. I just drank an entire liter of water in about 3 minutes just so I could walk by this cute girl I've been talking to say hi. She left where she was sitting before I started walking over to refill my water bottle and my bladder felt like it was gonna explode. Had a female wank in my chair while mum slept on the bed like 10 feet away. In my defense, she was very asleep and I was pretty silent. And I was watching Citrus. I took a glass of juice to the bathroom with me when I went to have a bath. It had a lot of ice in it and I thought I'll duck that. So I put it on the floor. I was already butt naked and I started doing push-ups over it, penetrating the juice. I wasn't doing it for long before someone knocked on the door, so I gradually stopped and stooped up and realized the door was now open. It didn't even feel good. Why would it? Jesus. Had sex in the water with my GF at the time while the rest of her family was also in the water a few feet from us. It was at a beach, not a pool. I've a mate who got called Thomas the Wank Engine for a while. He got caught sniffing another friend's mum's G-string and ripping the head cleaner fit, all whilst wearing her trained driver's uniform. It was also the friend's 16th birthday party. Ducked my married roommate. Her husband still doesn't know. Drove for an hour down the highway completely naked. Pulled over in a foresty area. Ducked. Then drove back. Looking back, it could have ended up really bad. But we somehow made it home safely. That was the first and last time we did that. Well, I nutted in my car and a person saw me right when I nutted, then we became good friends. Just broke up with an ex and went to the bar down the street. I hit it off with a girl there that was pretty cute but very hippie vibe and look. I asked her where she lived and she said a van down by the ocean. I live next to the beach in SF. I thought she was making a Chris Farley joke, so just laughed. I offered to walk her home, so I did. And I at you not, she did in fact live in a van by the ocean. She invited me in and well, I was committed at that point. Walked home after at like 4 AM and realized I just slept with a homeless person technically. Not my proudest moment. In my defense, she was really chill and pretty cute. Start a relationship with an addict. Fool me thrice. Next one is gonna be better for me. Trying to give my BF a hint that I was in the mood. Hot girl in high school had to give a speech to the Rotary Club on the same day her mom was going to be in town for an afternoon. Her mom was an artist who never came around. She touched my arm and told me how much she wanted to have lunch with her mom. I was so horny and thought she was hinting at something. I told her I would give the speech. She handed me a list of things to talk about and her written speech, which I couldn't use at all because it was peppered with personal stuff about her. Cut to me an hour later standing in front of a room of about 300 behind the mic wondering what the duck just happened that lead me to this. I blacked out but somehow hit all the talking points and made some jokes that landed. I thought for sure since it went good I would get a date or something out of it. Next time I see hot girl, she forgot that I even did the speech for her. Lesson landed, though I just assume every woman is manipulating me now. Got fingered and ducked with jalapeno juices still on both of our hands. It wasn't severe so we kept on. The burn was kind of erotic. Oof, and that Thanksgiving orgy I initiated in my drunken prowess. When I was 13 I used virgin oil as lube. Had sex with a 20-year-old while I'm 14. The next morning I realized what I got myself into and told her that was the last of us as she told me she loved me. She sent me roughly 20 text messages a day from then to this day. 7 months later she forced herself onto me. I keep telling myself to call the cops or tell my parents but can't bring myself to. I once trusted a pic on a dating site. Drove something like 45 minutes to meet up. She did not look like the picture. I just had dinner. Made some conversation and got the duck out of there. Not me but my brother, call him Jay, once cut a hole in a bar of soap to make a homemade fleshlight of sorts. Jay decides to try out his neat little invention the next time he takes a shower. Our older brother, T, gets pissed at him because his shower is taking way too long and T needs to shower too. T decides to barge into the bathroom and throw open the shower curtains to yell at Jay for taking too long and accidentally catches him in the act of mating with the bar of soap. T loses his it and immediately tells the entire family what Jay is doing. And everyone, except Jay, has a laugh. Though as any experimentally horny teenage male knows, soap and D's do not go well together. It may work at first but burns like hell afterwards. Plus making your D super sensitive in all the wrong ways. Jay's D got so bad that pretty much all the skin flaked off and molted. My other siblings started calling him Biscuit D for about a month and 10 years later we still make fun of him for making love to a bar of soap. Horny plus alcohol plus strip club ATM equals regret in the morning. I tried to make a tinfoil pocket pussy. Not use a condom on my first time. Was feeling sketch as duck until she got her period. Hooked up with a chick a couple years back who had HPV too. Usually used condoms until one night when it went down unexpectedly and my D did the thinking. I was extremely lucky that A, she didn't get pregnant, and B, I didn't contract HPV too. Oh, she was also crazy. Never stick your D in crazy. A new girl started in work. A storm was about to roll in. After work we had some drinks at our mutual friend's house. We all got pretty twisted. As I walk her home, she asks wanna go buzzing? I had never taken pills before but I was horny as duck. Cut to 2 days later after staying in her room and doing nothing but shagging and taking pills. Dash. It was great, but once I left her place I went to the shop and bought as much food as I could get my hands on. Dash. I honestly don't remember her name. Came back from a 9-month deployment that was a little rough on me. Best part was that my fiance cheated on me while I was gone. When I came back I haven't spoken to her in months. I went home on my birthday and immediately called her up. Not great for the mental health in the long run. Put my D in a piggy bank. Decided to wank while we were camping. Entire family just outside the door. Camper isn't exactly the most stable of grounds. My grandma caught me because a camper was shaking a little and shouted, "What the hell are you doing?" Entire family heard. Doubt the entire campground didn't hear. Used to get a lot of it from my younger siblings. Anyone here ever jerk off with icy hot? Yay. Don't. Was gonna write something here, but after finishing writing it I realized I got molested by my school health advisor Mayo. How did I just realize that after 15 years lol? My GF and I were getting into it. We don't use condom due to her not able to get pregnant. I could feel a climax. And I look at her. I think it through. I was going to say, "You ready to be a mommy?" But I usually say, "You are going to be my cum bucket," so as I climax. I look her dead in the eyes. Grab her face and say, "You are going to be ready to be my mommy," and she finishes her climax and stares me in the eyes. And just bursts out laughing. Spent $90 on an actual fleshlight. And another $120 on a Liberator fleshlight on a mission mount. Lots of dough. But it actually worked better than expected. I stuck a toothbrush up my ass in the shower and I couldn't get it out for a straight 5 minutes. Scared the it out of me, but I got it out eventually. A girl blew me while we were in the living room of her house at like 10 PM. Her brother was asleep in the same room. And either of her parents could have easily walked in if they got up for a snack or something. She was into that sort of risk. I was not. Wanked on a university bus. When I hear August Ames died I went on PH to read the comments and see what people were saying, and like 10 minutes in I was like, well, while I'm still here, why not? After I was done and the post nut clarity hit me, I literally said, "Oh god, what the duck am I doing?" Slept with a co-worker when I was a teenager. He was the same age. Which, if it wasn't stupid enough to do that, the dude ended up being a total psycho and I never knew because we didn't speak the same language. Followed me for weeks. Looked through the windows in my apartment late at night. Eventually broke open my back door and crawled into bed with me unannounced and uninvited. And just went to bed like it was totally cool. Caught a hard-on while driving. Had to match the flow of traffic so I didn't get past or pass anyone lol. Let's try to duck this Coca-Cola can. It didn't end well.